Hey guys, hey YouTube, how we doing? How we doing, everybody? I hope we are doing well. I hope that it is a good day. Hey Jordan, it's a good day. How are you feeling?
I'm angry,
I'm
Jake.
angry.
I am so angry right now.
I
Guys,
will.
right before we were just talking as Jake was getting everything set up, and we made a trade deal in our home league.
Well,
And
I
then
mean, did we though? I was saying
and
you do
just as
this, you
I
do that.
No, 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 no. It's hey, I'm telling the story, Jake. And just when I was like, okay, cool, I'll send it to you in the app or whatever, and then we have to post it in like our home league channel. That's like makes it official in our rules. And Jake goes, don't post it yet. And 3, 2, 1, and we're live. He's killing me. He's
It's
killing me.
it's just part of the game. It's just fun.
What? For who?
Oh shoot! Whoops.
What happened?
Nothing. We're here. I accidentally sent on the Facebook page. We do a lot of I share the stream and whatnot, right?
Yep.
And I accidentally hit the everyone. Like
So you
I just
spammed it.
spammed everyone, and it's on complete accident. There, I gotta.
Can you edit it?
Yeah, I have to edit it
You're
right
back.
now. I hope that everyone is doing well, Jordan. I
Just
know.
for the record, Jake, you making an error like that doesn't change my anger level right now.
No, I know. I'm. Oh crap! I can't edit it. Did not mean to at everyone. That's what I'm gonna say on the Facebook page.
And you're gonna at everyone again?
No, I'm not. I changed it. All right. So we are live on YouTube right now, youtube.com/Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm referring to our Facebook. Well, that one I meant to add everyone because we're on Facebook at the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. But we're also part of a whole bunch of different pages, and no one likes like the random like spam at things, right? So if you are here from that, I apologize. I did not mean to do that.
Did you at least do it on our page?
Yes, I did it on our page. So
Okay, all right.
we're good on that front. Jordan, while we wait for people to come on, I have a question for. I guess I'll wait for the actual thing. Do you want to start the episode?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right,
Here we go.
here we go. Welcome back to Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. We're here to help you take the next step in your fantasy journey. My name is Jake, and we are once again not joined by Adam, though we hyped it up like never before last week. He's busy. He's got his conference awards and whatnot that he had to,
Yeah.
and we didn't know about that. So, but he said, "quote I'm good for next week."
Good.
Heard that before, so we'll see. But
Now, he's basically got like the SBs this week.
He's got
and
the SBs.
and the NFL honors. There's all kinds of stuff.
oh my goodness.
After the season.
Oh, and that person talking is my friend Jordan. Jordan, how you doing?
I'm seething,
You're-
Jake,
you're
but I'm bouncing
seething.
back. I'm bouncing back.
Okay.
We had
Tell the people
a
why you're seething.
terrible trade. Jake and I made a deal right before we started this episode in our home league, and then it seems like he's about to back out on me. So I'm kind of
Who knows
I'm
what's
fired
gonna
up.
happen, man?
I'm fired up.
It's just the best. I don't know. We just don't know what's ever gonna happen. It's always a good time.
Yeah, not trading with Jake. Anyone who's in our home league knows that trading with Jake is like just a full-time job.
Well, I'm the guy in our dynasty league that never stops. There's not a time it could be the day after the fantasy season ends, and I'm like, "What's up, guys?" I'm like, "Let's trade."
Just a random Tuesday in April, and Jake's like,
And try
Hey.
to blow up your team.
"Yeah, trying to make a deal." Anyway,
Yes. So,
moving on.
sorry, I lost my train of thought. So, like I mentioned, we're live on YouTube right now, youtube.com/Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. We also have a Facebook page, Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast, and we are also on the Instagram, next_step_pod. So, enough business. Jordan, while we wait for people to get into this chat, I have a question for you.
All right, fire away.
Top 3.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, because we gotta wait for like all the start
Ones and
sit
zeros
questions
and
where
such. Oh, I see what
that,
you're
and we
saying.
have to start for like or we have to wait for for Adam to be able to play the games because it's not fun with just us. So I'm just hitting you with another top 3. Jordan.
Okay.
Top 3 favorite, or I'm sorry, excuse me, hated players of all time in your eyes.
Hated.
Yes. Who are the people that you hate the most? That is my question for you. Anyone in the chat, that is
Just to clarify, NFL players that I
sports
hate
players.
the most, not just people.
Just people in general.
Yeah.
In the chat right now, we got
Jake.
We got Steven Scarberry, which it is good to see you. That would be a great time because you're here. We're going to shout you out. He is our newest Patreon member. So thank you so much for joining that. We appreciate the, your support, and helps us be able to, it helps us be able to help you guys, right? Better equipment, better cameras, all that stuff. It just makes the podcast better. So
Podcast smoother. Yep.
yeah, Jordan,
Better leagues.
more leagues, more.
More
we
leagues.
have.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're being honest, we've taken a major step up since
I agree.
last year this
I agree.
time. So, and it's by viewers like you. Steven says OBJ, Tua, and probably Kenny Pickett. What? Kenny Small Hands? Come on now. I love some Kenny Small Hands. All right, Jordan. Hit me with them. Come on. We're not going to even wait. I want you to tell me now.
Okay. Who are yours?
Oh,
'Cause
easy.
I gotta think.
And if we're talking just players in general,
Yeah.
okay. Number 3. This is gonna sound weird. It's Brian Urlacher. Listen, as a Packer fan,
legend.
he's a legend.
Yeah.
As a Packer fan, he was just the worst because that man made me cry. Like that man would upset me so much. I understand what he is, and how helpful he was to the league, and just all that. I hated him. Hated him. Number 2, not even football related. It's Grayson Allen. Hate that guy in the NBA.
Oh, the NBA.
Yes,
Wow.
we're sports.
Good thing the Bucks traded him, right?
Gosh, yes. I hope he dries up in Arizona somewhere, in Phoenix. And then number 1's super easy, and I'm assuming he's yours as well. And that's Tom Brady. I hate Tom Brady.
Whoa.
I hate that man. He didn't let anyone else. He didn't let anyone else play or win. So yes, for me, Brian Urlacher, Grayson Allen, Tom Brady.
Wow.
Do you want to
don't
wait till the end?
Yeah, I don't.
Don't tell me you
hate players. I will say here's one that definitely is kind of top of mind for me. Was Randy Moss when he was on the Vikings.
That's because yeah.
Drove me nuts. I kind of that feeling you have about Brian Urlacher, it's just you hated seeing him go up against your hometown team, your Packers, and just always blowing him up and then rubbing it in your face, right? So I get that Brian Urlacher kind of Randy Moss, but now after the fact, I love me some Randy Moss.
He was almost a Packer.
Yeah. So that's one that jumps to me. Growing up, it was always Randy Moss got to play the Vikings.
Yeah, just the worst. So I assume that means you want to think about it the rest of the way.
I gotta think about it.
Okay, I'll let you think about it.
It's a hard
That's
one.
fine.
Yeah,
It's tough. I get it. Why don't you? Steven says swap Tua for Jalen Ramsey. That's a good one. I don't love Jalen Ramsey. I loved watching Devontae Adams just cook him in the playoffs a few years ago. And Joey jumps in and says, "I jumped on here for Packers talk. Yuck! No, we are talking top 3 hated players in the NFL. So let me hear him in the chat. Jordan, why don't you go ahead and talk about some news for this week?"
Thank you, Adam. We'll edit that one in. Some interesting news, some people who are hurt, things like that we got to talk about. I think the scariest one, Damian Harris, had a neck injury, was ambulance, came out on the field, the whole thing. And that was definitely, it was scary to watch, kind of reminiscent of some of those Bills, DeMar Hamlin kind of things, and they cut a lot to DeMar Hamlin. Anyway, neck sprain and concussion.
Did you see that they had like the ambulance had the 3 on the back of the ambulance?
I did, yeah. That's a good nod. I like that. I'm into that. But neck sprain and concussion. He went to the hospital. He's discharged. He's at home. So obviously he will be out for an extended period of time. But thankfully not as bad as it could have been. So neck sprain and concussion is already at home. Probably not a huge fantasy impact, I don't think. I don't think people are starting Damian Harris. People who you were probably starting, Anthony Richardson, shoulder injury confirmed today. Out season-ending, season-ending shoulder surgery. So it's Minshew Mania time.
Do you own him? Anywhere?
I sure do.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Gardner Minshew, interesting. I'm curious your thoughts here, Jake.
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew, I think Anthony Richardson is a better play, obviously, than Gardner Minshew if you're like picking one. But from the receiver's perspective, I don't think it's a huge step back.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
He literally made Josh Downs a pretty decent receiver the last 2 weeks. So
like Michael Pittman had like 6 receptions for 90 yards. Like these are good numbers for these guys. So I don't think it's as Anthony Richardson's rushing upside. It's not a one-to-one replacement for like the player, but from a receiving perspective, it doesn't hurt you that much like it does with some of these other ones we're going to get to here, like Justin Fields. Thumb injury, doubtful for week 7. It seems like it's dislocated, something like that. So Tyson Bagent or whatever the guy's name is, rookie, backed him up and came in. So I guess he's up next. This is one of those examples where when your starter's not in, you have to play the backup. Bad news. Bad news Bears.
Bad news Bears,
Pun intended, for them. So doubtful for week 7. Hopefully it's not much longer than that. It seems like they were finally putting it together. Maybe 2 good weeks from Justin Fields and then injury.
I'm just ready to be hurt by him. Like, I'm just done. I'm done. Justin Fields, he's just awful. Great. Back down to awful, braces them. And it's like, okay. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah. So that is a real bummer. Speaking of quarterbacks who never get hurt at all and are definitely top 15 quarterbacks in this league and should be owned by everyone, they're an awesome backup. Jimmy Garoppolo. That was all sarcasm pointed at you, Jake, if you didn't catch that.
No, I missed it.
Back injury, he's going to undergo some more tests and things like that. But he was taken to the hospital after the game on Sunday. So not sure what's up with that, but probably not going to play.
Great.
Yep.
Love Jimmy G. Love Jimmy G. Quickly interrupting, if you're jumping in here, ask your fantasy questions so we can answer them in the chat. And hit the sub button if you haven't done that either. Go, Jordan.
Perfect. Yep, we're getting all these questions stacked up, so once I'm done with the news, we'll jump in. Ryan Tannehill, ankle injury, going to be evaluated after the bye. No one should have been starting Ryan Tannehill anyway, but it'll be
Do you start Malik Willis if you have to?
Or Will Levis? They don't even know who's going to be their guy.
It's got to be.
They haven't announced it yet. I would agree. He has been kind of his backup, but we'll see. I mean, Malik Willis almost got cut last year. Let's not forget. So no one should be starting any of those guys. The only pickup that's worth it is if you're in a dynasty league, Will Levis, who's probably already been picked up.
Yeah.
So what it could do, maybe they run it more, but they weren't really passing it anyway. Like Ryan Tannehill, like 80 passing yards. Like, is it going to be worse than that?
Yeah. It was not good.
Yeah. The 49ers, all kinds of injuries. So their first loss of the year to the Browns, which was just a sloppy game all around. Good defense, I guess. Trent Williams, so offensive tackle, avoids serious ankle injury. Obviously not a fantasy relevant player, but fantasy relevant because of the protection he provides. He's kind of like all-pro, awesome offensive lineman. So boosts Purdy and run game if he stays in. He's day-to-day. Deebo Samuel, shoulder injury, also listed as day-to-day. And then McCaffrey had oblique rib injuries. He underwent an MRI, and it seems like he avoided any serious injury. But all 3 of them, Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, McCaffrey, they haven't announced if they're going to play or not in week 7. So definitely something to keep an eye on for. And we'll get to why that matters a little bit later for some people that we like this week. No, I got more.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, you just keep going.
There's a lot. There's a lot to unpack here. Kyren Williams, Rams expected to miss week 7. So the running back for the Rams expected to miss week 7. So it looks like rookie Zach Evans in his place. Probably is a hot waiver wire pickup.
Yeah.
If he's not there, I would recommend just picking him up, see what happens. Because they brought in Royce Freeman as number 2.
Royce Freeman.
And then Daryl Henderson, they brought in on the practice squad. Remember him?
Oh,
He's
I remember
back.
him.
So I think, it's going to be kind of the Zach Evans show, and he could carve out a role. Probably not as a starter when Williams comes back, but at least fighting for some touches in the future if he plays well.
Yeah.
David Montgomery likely out, as well as Craig Reynolds. We'll get to that a little bit later as well. And Jahmyr Gibbs likely playing. Trevor Lawrence, knee injury, saying he's doing better than he expected, but he's still listed as day-to-day. Short week. They play Thursday. Definitely keep an eye out on him and what that is going to look like. A couple people come back from IR. Deontay Johnson, Jeff Wilson, Jamal Williams, all designated to return from IR, so they're practicing now. So
Great.
We'll keep an eye on them. Deshaun Watson, probably not going to play in Week 7.
Fine.
He's got a rotator cuff injury. That's
Bummer.
just a mess.
Yeah.
Just a mess. That put him on the list of players that I do not like.
I was going to get to it. I forgot about that.
Deshaun Watson, yep. All right. DK Metcalf left the game with a hip injury. Keep an eye on it if you have him because you want to start him if he's playing. Obviously, make sure he's playing.
Yeah.
Jets trade Mecole Hardman back
to the Chiefs. We could see a little bit of Mecole Hardman. I don't know if he's really quite fantasy relevant yet, but I mean he's going to step right back in and probably be able to participate next week.
And no one's really asserted themselves as a wide receiver role in the Chiefs offense yet, so we'll keep an eye on that. And then the biggest news of the week and the last one here, Jake.
Yeah.
Julio Jones.
I know. I saw that.
With the Eagles.
I saw that and I'm like, I was so surprised. I was like, what?
Yeah. So Quez Watkins went on IR.
Poor
they brought
Quez.
in Julio Jones. You wouldn't own Quez and don't own Julio, but it's a fun story.
It is a fun story. He'll score a touchdown somewhere along the line.
Yep.
All right. Are you good?
That's it. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
like I said,
Thank
a lot
you,
of
Lord.
news, lots to unpack.
Jesus.
Jake, people get hurt. People get hurt.
All right.
Have to talk about
what we're going to do is we are going to talk your fantasy questions. So, again, we're live on YouTube, youtube.com/Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. If you are listening to this later on, come on in on the Facebook page. Maybe you can't be here live. Drop them beforehand, right? So we're typically live Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Central. Drop them on the Facebook page and say, for the podcast, somewhere in there so we know where to answer them, and we will answer your questions. You just gotta let us know that you want it on the pod. Jordan, we got hit with a whole bunch of questions. I'm gonna go back to front. How I posted these because some of them were just from a page. So,
cool. Let's do it.
if you are in here live, drop them, keep them coming, and we will answer them accordingly. Are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Oh my
Let's
gosh!
go.
All right, Joey asks, PPR, Cortland Sutton or Wan'Dale Robinson? So we got Cortland Sutton going up. Oh man, I had the schedule right here and I lost it. Going up against the Packers.
The Packers.
Yep, going, and then you got the Giants going up against the Commanders.
Yeah. Commanders this week. Yep.
Full point PPR. Who you going?
Cortland Sutton.
Ah, interesting.
You're gonna pick Robinson?
I was thinking about it. I mean, he's establishing himself as the number one there. I know.
Yeah, but because that says so much in the Giants' offense.
You say that. Wan'Dale Robinson, 8 receptions, 62 yards last week. That's 14 fantasy points. Like, that's a good game. I mean, I think it's sneaky. I think Cortland Sutton's probably the guy you want to play right this second, right?
Yeah.
Just because he is more of the touchdown upside. But,
I'm looking at this guy's stats. What is happening? 5 receptions, 18 yards the week before.
Yeah.
4 receptions, 21 yards. 5 receptions, 4 yards. Is he like running the shortest route ever? Is it all screen passes?
Average. But I mean,
What?
he clearly is getting more of a role. I think fast forward 2 weeks from now, it could in a full point PPR clearly be Robinson. But give me Sutton. You're right for the touchdown upside right now.
Yeah, I think so.
All right,
But you're right. It might be closer than I thought. My gut reaction was like, Robinson, what are you doing? But I think you might be right. All those PPR points.
all right, let's go half point PPR. Antonio Gibson or Zeke Elliott. So what is the most recent on Ramondre Stevenson? Because I know he's been dealing with. Are you looking?
He should be playing.
He should be playing.
Yeah, he should be playing.
So assuming he's playing, I got to go Robinson, or I'm sorry, I got to go Gibson because Zeke does have a bit of a role there. but it's not like he's change of pacing right now. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, but Antonio Gibson is like, it's Brian Robinson's show.
Correct,
I mean,
but
Antonio
he's-
Gibson, I'm
if-
looking
if-
at, has
if-
had 16 carries on the whole year. Like, Zeke's had 50.
But how many catches? That's my
13.
point. So I mean,
Zeke's had 13 too.
oh, okay, yeah. Ah, gosh, that's a tough spot to be in. I think there. For me, I'm going Gibson because of the possibility that he might catch a lot more balls, and I think that if one of these weeks the Patriots do put it together, I think it's gonna be Stevenson is the one that's benefiting from that.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Look at that. Look at us just agreeing all the time. All right. D's nuts. My name is Jeff says.
Come on, man.
I clicked the button.
This is a family show.
Is
This is
it?
a
I
family
clicked
show.
the button that says it's not. Trade away 2. Zay Flowers, Nico Collins, Garrett Wilson, or Michael Pittman.
Trade away.
Trade away 2. I think you can get the most for Flowers.
Yeah.
Probably.
And Garrett Wilson, probably.
And Garrett Wilson, just based on name value. I think you want to hold Pittman. I think he's the best of those guys right now. I love
Zay Flowers.
Oh, okay. I was just about to say I love Nico Collins. Nico Collins is great on the year so far. Dang it, I don't have the thing starred. Do you have it where you can tell us where he is on the year?
Oh yeah, he's wide receiver 9.
He's wide receiver 9. I'm pretty sure he's higher than all of those guys.
You would be right.
Yeah. So I mean, if it depends on who you're trading. I mean, are you trading to a guy that wants a wide receiver 1? Because that's what Nico Collins has been this year. I own him in like the home league and in a lot of leagues, and I'm just hoping that he sustains it. I mean, I think it's super. By the end of the year, he could be a 1,000-yard receiver easily.
Oh, for sure.
Which is-
with what CJ Stroud is
Yeah.
throwing. He's at 547 yards
Exactly.
right now.
That's what I'm
If he
saying.
doesn't get to 1,000 yards, it would be a crime. Something would have to have happened.
We could be talking 1,200 yards. I mean, like,
Oh yeah.
oh, and that's great, especially for he probably went undrafted or went very late in your drafts.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I'm trading away Garrett Wilson, mainly because Zach Wilson sucks, and I am going to. I'm going to trade away Pittman in that case.
I was just about to say I'm keeping Zay Flowers. I like Zay Flowers.
I think
a
you
lot.
could get a lot more. I think Pittman holds what you could get the most back for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you've already decided you're trading away a few of those guys, then excuse me, then who cares what they're gonna do, right? You just want to get the most back. So in that case, if you want to get the most back, I'm trading away Pittman and Flowers because I think that's what you probably get the most back for. If you're trying to trade away the 2 that won't produce the most,
It's
right?
Wilson and Pittman.
It's Wilson and Pittman. I think Pittman is going either way, especially with the loss of Richardson. I know we talked about Garner, but yeah, just waiver wire. We got you pick one: Dobbs, Howell, Minshew, or Pickett. Quickly, 3, 2, 1.
Sam Howell, come on.
Oh Jesus!
I love Sam Howell. I told you at the start of the year he's sneaky good, and everyone should pick him up.
Now here, are we talking? That's really hard. Because, like, for me, I look at this and I'm like, I think for me, like, talent-wise, Pickett's the best out of all of them.
No. Pickett
If you
is
say
the
Sam
worst
Howell,
one.
no!
He is the one you don't want.
No, I'm saying
Kenny
based on
Pickett?
I'm saying based on talent. I was saying talent.
That's not what this show's about.
I'm just-
It's about fantasy football.
Well,
Jay.
now I want you to tell me that he's not the most talented of that group.
Kenny Pickett
Yeah.
is. Yeah, he's.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Their offensive coordinator is just such booty cheeks that like I don't want. Like it's hard, right? I think honestly, if I'm picking, I want Dobbs. He's been good this year.
Not better than Sam Howell.
Mm.
Sam Howell is QB 13 on the year.
What's Dobbs? If you say like 15, I don't want to hear it.
17.
Okay. Where's Pickett?
20. Nope, QB 30.
30.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that hurts my soul.
Yeah, Pickett is not the one that you want. If
No.
all 4 of those guys are available, I like Sam Howell. He is being used. He is slinging the ball like Eric Bieniemy, and that they're letting him loose. He also has the rushing upside that I like. But I also like Josh Dobbs is a sneaky pickup, but with Sam Howell also there.
You're right.
I'm all
I'm going to agree with you. You got to go Howell, I think. Just, you're right. Based on...
Pickett.
No, I'm not saying... In the home league, it kills me, by the way. So, because I love Kenny Pickett, and I just got him, and I'm just hoping next year. Joey says Pickett has a bye. Had a bye week excuse me. He had a bye week 6. So, does the bye change your mind at all?
Oh, so yeah, points per game that they've played. Kenny Pickett is actually 28th, not 30th.
Ooh.
Sorry, my apologies, Joey. He sees a good quarterback 3, low end QB 3. Yep.
All right. Moving on.
Don't take Pickett.
Moving on to the next one. Half point PPR. I think for this one, it's mainly who do you want? Do you want Kareem Hunt or do you want Jerome Ford? Because for me, it doesn't really change. Like, a full point PPR, I probably want Kareem Hunt because I mean he's been having more receptions, but
I think it's Ford.
Do you? I kind of want to stay away from this backfield if I'm being 100% honest. But if you have to pick one, let's pretend they're both on the waiver wire for some reason. I want Kareem Hunt. He has a role in the receiving game. Maybe not as good as Ford's, maybe, right? But he is all. I mean, last week he had 12 carries versus Ford's 17, so it's pretty much a split down the middle. Do I have an option of I don't want to pick one?
You don't want them?
I don't want one. Give me Hunt. I think he has the higher touchdown upside.
Yeah, I'm just looking at their split. Jerome Ford is also getting catches though. I mean, he's at 5 receptions, 4 receptions, 3. To me, I think you're right. It's whoever scores the touchdown that week.
And I think it's Hunt. But I think Hunt has the better shot at it personally.
Okay, I would say Ford, but whatever. It's nah.
Okay, great.
I wouldn't fight you too much.
Okay. All right, let's do another one. Roschon Johnson or Jordan Mason this week?
All depends if Christian McCaffrey plays.
Right? Yeah, right. So let's just assume that McCaffrey doesn't play. Let's assume he doesn't play. What sucks here is that you won't know until Monday. So you have to make this decision beforehand. And that's hard. That's the tough part. For me, assuming Roschon Johnson is also playing, right?
Yeah.
I'm starting Roschon Johnson because I don't want to deal with the headache of later on. Because
waiting.
And it's not like Jordan Mason, it will be just the guy.
No, Eli Mitchell's
there too. And I mean, in the past, he has been the primary backup. And if you remember, he was just returning this past week. So, of course, they wrote Jordan Mason more. In a case like this, I'd prefer to start the for sure thing, right? So, yeah, I'd much rather start Roschon Johnson in this scenario.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, it's just hard. I mean, those situations are really tough. Give me the guy who plays on Sunday that you know is playing versus what might happen.
What might happen on Monday. Yep, I agree.
All right. Again, live on YouTube, youtube.com/Next Fantasy Football Podcast. Keep your questions coming. So that way we have more archived here. But yeah, Joey says not an option. Ford and Hunt are both on my roster since Sanders and Chuba are on a bye, and I got to start one along with Gibbs.
Oh, it's not someone you're picking up.
Hold on. He also mentioned that he's going up against me in the Patreon League.
Oh, Jerome Ford. Yep. Don't let Jake tell you differently. Start Ford.
All right. All right, Jordan, let's talk about our Monday Night Miracle. So, our Thursday Night Top Gun. This week, we got Christian Kirk, the true number 1 in Jacksonville. Coming off a week that he scored a touchdown this past week. People love Calvin Ridley, and I get it. He's good. He's electric, man.
I love Calvin Ridley.
And he definitely bounced back this week. For me, though, I think that Christian Kirk's safer, in my opinion. Like, you know what you're getting out of him, right? I don't have his stats in front of me. I assume you can have them in a second.
I will have them in a second.
Right.
You got it.
But I like the safer pick. I think that this is a good get-right game. I mean, they did just come off a win that they played pretty darn well at. Going up against the Saints defense that has been pretty good overall. But I like this. I like a good Trevor Lawrence game this week. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns last week, but what do you got?
Yeah. I was trending towards like, oh, I don't love this because of Trevor Lawrence, but it seems like Trevor Lawrence is going to play, and he seems like he's feeling good and stuff like that. So I like that. This is probably, unfortunately, going to be a really big defensive game because the Saints' defense is no joke. They're very good. But the Saints' offense is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, they can't get anything going.
Agreed.
So it's kind of going to be one of those that's going to be a little weird. So it's a tough matchup just in general. So if you don't have to start them, like any of these guys, like I wouldn't. But Christian Kirk, we like him. He gets the majority of the target share. He leads the team in targets, leads the team in receiving yards. Like he's the guy. And so that's what we like.
Yeah,
about
let's start him. Joey says Thursday night Top Gun, Evan Ingram. I love that too. I do.
Too. Yeah.
I think that in the situation with tight ends is why we typically don't pick them for these things. My goodness, my child is screaming in the background there.
Because if you have Evan Ingram, you're
no. If
you have Evan Ingram, you're starting him every single week.
Exactly. Especially with tight ends, he's in my personal rankings, he's a top 5 tight end right now.
Yep.
And
I think in actual rankings too.
He's easily. He's got to be behind what, Andrews and Kelsey. He might be like.
Oh, he is not. He is tight end 12.
Really? That's shocking.
Yes.
Give us our top 5.
Travis Kelsey, Sam Laporta.
Oh, I forgot Laporta.
Andrews, Cole Kmet, T.J. Hawkinson.
Cole Kmet surprises me.
Very close. He surprises me too.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns.
I mean Laporta is just so good, so good.
The difference: Evan Ingram has not scored a touchdown yet.
So that's what it is.
His usage. I'm looking at receptions wise. He has the same number of receptions like Travis Kelsey and T.J. Hawkinson, and like he is that involved.
Okay,
but he just hasn't caught a touchdown.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm. All right. Why don't we answer a few more questions then, Jordan? Shall we?
Yeah. Let's do it.
This guy is being offered Metcalf for Aaron Jones. He's in a Superflex PPR, full point PPR. His current receivers are already Chase and Hill. The running backs are Hill and Judy. Running backs are Jacobs, Mostert, Connor, Gibbs, Charbonnet, and Gainwell. So he'd be giving up Aaron Jones to get DK Metcalf in a Superflex.
And who would be his other running backs? Sorry,
he wouldn't have Aaron Jones anymore, and he would have Mostert, Jacobs, Connor, Gibbs, Charbonnet, Gainwell.
Well, Connor is out.
Yeah, you know what this is?
Jacobs.
This to me, this is just kind of like a why are you doing this trade?
I wouldn't do
that.
No.
It's not helping. You're starting Chase and Hill. You're starting Jacobs and Mostert. Like it just doesn't seem.
Yeah, and Aaron Jones would be your flex.
Yeah,
and so you'd just be swapping DK for Aaron Jones, and Aaron Jones should be back and healthy.
Yeah, I'd rather have Aaron Jones here.
I agree.
I'd rather have the running back depth than the receiver depth in this situation.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, for sure. George plays 01 jumps in. First of all, how you doing? Make sure you hit that sub button. He says he's 6-0. Whoa, okay, flexing over here.
Whoa, all right.
All right, he's got...
Because he's listening to the podcast.
Yeah, I hope it's because you're listening to the podcast. Jordan, pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
He's got Tua, CMC, Kenneth Walker, Cooper Kupp, Olave, Goddard. And in the flex, he's playing James Cook. Okay?
No wonder you're 6-0.
Should I trade Cook and Olave for Chase?
No.
Okay. And should I start Zach Evans for CMC? Okay, so we got 2 different questions here. Okay. So should you trade Cook and Olave for Chase? And you said no very quickly.
Yeah. Joe Burrow is stressing me out this year.
Yeah.
It's feast or famine with the Bengals. It is just feast or famine with the Bengals.
I would ask, if you're still in here, what would you play in your flex if you did that? I like Cook as a flex play, right? But like it depends what your depth is, right? So who are you throwing in place of Cook? Because now you have Chase, right? So I think without knowing more information, I would say no. But if you're just going, top heavy, maybe you have enough depth, right? Maybe you have a So he's getting Deontay Johnson, Roshan back, Jameson, JSN, Zach Evans, and Jalen Warren. So you'd have to start Deontay Johnson. Which in that case, I feel okay about it. In a flex.
I feel okay about that then. Yeah.
You know what? I'd go for it, man. You're 6-0. You're feeling good. On the flip side, you're 6-0. Why mess with anything? That's the other thought. The second half of his question was, without knowing about CMC, are you starting Zach Evans?
Oh, instead, this gets that Monday game, which is just super tricky. This is the hardest part.
I'd
hold off. I would definitely hold off until like the last possible second, right?
Yes.
Like if you can swing it, like wait until Sunday morning and then make that decision, right?
Yeah.
But if it's still like we'll see, it'll be a game time decision. It could suck because you could start CMC.
Yeah.
Or you could start Zach Evans and CMC could play, and that would be a bummer.
Yeah.
But I'd rather have that scenario and get some points out of Zach Evans than...
Yeah, if you can get Mason or Eli Mitchell to have just in case, then I would do that, right? I'd wait, take CMC. Mm-hmm. If you have nothing else, and you're looking at reports and they're like, I don't know, I'd start Evans. You start, and maybe it's a 325 game, so maybe at this point you're up 50. Your percentage says you're 90% chance to win, and you can risk it, right? But if you're like down, and it says you have like 20%, and you can only listen to those so far, but so yeah, like I said, I think I just watch, and at the end of the day, if you need the points, play the for sure thing, which is Evans. All right, let's answer one or two more here, Jordan. Sit 2. PPR, 2. Oh, geez. All right, we got a PPR, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 flex, okay?
Okay.
He has Hall, I assume he means Hill, Chase, T. Higgins, and Garrett Wilson on bye. Or Brees Hall, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Running backs are Jacobs, Ford, JT, Rashad White. Oh, boy. Wide receivers are JSN, Watson, Olave, Goodwin, okay? So you need to start 2 receivers and 2 running backs and flex of the following guys. You ready? For anyone listening later. You need to start 2 running backs here. We got Jacobs, Ford, JT, White. You need to start 2 receivers. Watson, Olave, Goodwin, and JSN. And then 1 flex out of those guys. You got it?
I think.
Okay, I'll answer it for you. So,
okay,
running backs. We're starting
Josh
Jacobs.
Yep.
And I'm starting JT.
Okay.
For me personally, I'm starting JT. I have no problem, though, if you want to go White. I'm not starting Ford in that spot. White, what you're getting. JT, I just think is going to have to be more a part of this offense now that Anthony Richardson is out.
Yep.
Receivers, I'm starting Olave.
Yep.
And I am starting Goodwin. That's what I'm going that.
Or Chris Godwin?
Chris Godwin, thank you.
He's good. Godwin. Okay.
Godwin. And then the flex, I'm starting White. That's what I'm doing. I'm not starting Watson.
I like that. Yep, I like that.
I will say if you want to start Watson in the flex instead, fine, go for it.
Yeah.
More of a home run hit there. So that's what I would do. For anyone listening later, I apologize if that was confusing, but hopefully it made sense. All right, one more. And would you trade JSN for Rashid Rice? I assume it's not a dynasty.
Probably.
Yeah, I would as well. I think in dynasty, I'm keeping JSN absolutely.
Oh, agreed.
But in redraft, I think that JSN's buried right now.
Yep.
Yeah, and I just don't think that Geno Smith's the guy that's going to carry 3 receivers, and Rashid Rice has had a considerable role in that offense right now. So
and he's been doing well. It's been increasing, which is what you like to see.
Yeah, it's absolutely like you see what you want to see. Jordan, talk about the Monday Night Miracle.
Who do we got from
Brandon Ayuk?
Brandon Ayuk. This is definitely a byproduct of a lot of these injuries,
correct?
Right? Even if Debo plays and Christian McCaffrey plays, I'm assuming they're not fully healthy. So this just makes Brandon Ayuk a great play. Brandon Ayuk's been playing fantastic this year, just in general. He's really become a target that Brock Purdy likes. So on Monday, with some other guys banged up, we really like Brandon Ayuk to be kind of that primary weapon.
He's the
healthiest.
Him and George Kittle. They're the healthy guys. So, 'cause even if CMC plays, who knows what it looks like, right? And even if Debo plays, who knows how like part of the offense they are. So give me the healthiest guy who's very, very productive. He's pretty productive. He's very efficient. Going into last week, I think or it was the previous week, week 5, whatever it was, like all his catches either were touchdowns or converted a first down. So, and I expect to bounce back from Brock Purdy. I will say that. The moment I said that he's my MVP vote, then he had his worst game of his career. So
yeah, it's a kiss of death for Jake.
Pretty much anytime I talk good about anyone, it just goes to absolute crap.
Yep.
All right.
But I agree. It was bad weather.
Yep.
The Browns are no joke. Their defense is no joke.
Yep.
We knew he was going to regress at some point and lay an egg. I'm not too concerned. So
absolutely. All right, so there you go, guys. There you have it. That is week 7. We appreciate anyone who was around on live with us on YouTube right now, youtube.com/Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. We are live we also have a Facebook page at the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast, so go like us there, share us. If you're on the YouTube right now or watching it later, hit the subscribe button, help us out. We're 2 away from 40. That's exciting. That's exciting stuff. Jordan, top 3 hated people.
Oh, so I already mentioned that Randy Moss.
Yes.
I love him now. Didn't like him at the time. We talked about Deshaun Watson.
That's an easy one. I definitely forgot him. Throw him at number 1.
And then I think, Jake, I wanted to think of someone else because I know how much you love this guy, but it's going to be Odell.
No, I love Odell. I can understand why people don't like him, though. I get it.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's 1, 2, 3 for me. Yeah.
All right, guys, on the Facebook page, you can drop it. Who are your 3 most hated NFL or sports players? Let's hear them. Jordan, unless you have anything else you want to say?
Jake, make that trade with me.
Okay, all right, guys. We're going to get Adam back next week. We have to. He promised. So, all right, take care. Be good. Guys, he did pinky swear. Guys on YouTube, we appreciate you guys being around. You guys are the best. It makes this so much more fun when you guys are participating with us and, just being part of the fam, right? Again, wanted to shout out Steven again for being the newest Patreon member. We appreciate you being here. If that interests you, you want to be part of the Patreon as well. There's a bunch of different benefits that come with it. We have different tiers. If you're interested, reach out to us on Facebook. You'll see me definitely all over the Facebook. I'm the one that posts all the time. Jake can infer if there I am. Jordan, anything else you want to say to the YouTube side of stuff?
No, everyone go win this week.
Go win this week, all right, guys?
Yeah.
I want to see some.
Especially
winning.
if you're playing Jake.
Okay, all right. You can just be kind. All right, guys.